So Mark, talk to us about remove assignments to parameter.
Sure, Roy. This is an excellent, powerful refactoring that gets that fixes a problem that's kind of sometimes hard to see. It's the kind of problem you can't. It's not so obvious when you're looking at code at a glance, but it becomes painfully obvious when you're stepping through a debugging code and you realize, oh, whoever wrote this is, has made this mistake. And the mistake essentially is to take parameters that are coming in and then mutate those parameters on the way down, essentially treating them as temporary variables. And I would call this kind of a lazy programmer's mistake. I used to make this frequently when I didn't understand that it was a bad thing when I was a young programmer. And now I'm pretty good about not making the mistake. But still the refactoring's there and it's good to know, so I'll know about and so I'll show it to you. So here, for example, I've got this code called get full name, and I've got a first and a last name I'm being passed in, and I just want to concatenate these together. But I only want to add a space between them if I actually have values for both first and last. If I don't, then I want to just have the return value be the last name if the first one is empty. Otherwise, I'll just return the first name if the last one happens to be empty. That's kind of the essence of what this code does. The problem with this code is that I'm using first as a temporary variable. And that's where it gets into problems. And Roy, you were talking to me about another problem that you had. You were talking about debugging, and you were saying, well, sometimes as you go through, you might want to go up and look at and run through it a second time. Like you might go through and say, wait a second. Like for example, you have your breakpoint down here, and you have a surprising value, and you're not sure how you got there. So you come up here and you set the execution point up here, and you start stepping through. Well, what's happened? What has happened? Your first has already been mutated along the way through, and even if maybe you're not worried about first, you're looking at something else, you're going back and you've got a mutated starting position again. You're not starting with here, and so you actually have to go all the way outside the method and make the call again with the original values. So that's why mutating parameters is a bad thing. It's expensive during debugging. So the fix. So with all of that, right, here's the fix. It's fast and simple. You just put the CodeRush on the assignment to that variable. You put the caret on the assignment to the variable, and you choose remove assignments to parameter. And it gives you something like this. And we can just take that and turn that into result like this. And now we take code that was really bad, and we now make it into better code.
That's very much nicer. So we've got a result variable that's been introduced, whose sole purpose is to accumulate the result that we will return. We're no longer altering our first variable. Okay, it's retaining the same value all the way through now. And basically nothing can go wrong. We're not going to violate the definition, the purpose of the first name variable.
Right. We don't violate it. We don't have the value changing its meaning or intention as we move through the method. So the code becomes easier to debug, easier to read. And I'm really holding back not showing a different refactoring. I just want to go in and show inline result in here and show you what that looks like right there. And I can take what I had before and now get rid of that result variable and simply just return the value right there. So you can kind of see how we can further simplify this code.
Very nice.
So anyway, that's it.
Excellent.